Hey guys, this is a segment from the Slumpbuster Podcast. You can find the full episode on any of the various podcast platforms, or of course, subscribe to us on YouTube for more of our content. Other than that, guys, sit down, bust a slump, and enjoy. When you first started with the Cleveland Browns, what did you get the sense of direction was with the franchise, at least in the first couple years you were there?
Well, I don't think it matters what I thought it was. I mean, the way I saw it is I came there to win, and we didn't win. And at the end of the day, that's how I have to approach it. That's the way myself approached it. That's the way our coaches approached it. That's the way the players approached it. And we didn't win there.
Yeah, you're on record saying too in the past that you would have went with Carson Wentz in that first draft that you guys had together in the 2016 at number 2. Do you still feel strongly about that? And do you think that if you guys would have went in that direction, you guys would have been in a better spot?
I'll never change from what I thought. Back then, there's no question. I thought he was a really good quarterback and somebody who could have made the organization be in a better situation at that time because they were looking for quarterbacks. But we went a different direction, and the rest is history.
In that next draft, though, obviously you're an offensive guy, a former quarterback yourself. You probably felt in a way we need to get that quarterback position figured out. So you went with Myles Garrett, and I don't think anyone will begrudge you too much for going after Myles Garrett. The guy's a physical specimen, amazing talent. But there was some good quarterbacks that came out of that draft class. Directly behind him, of course, you had Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and you guys went with another notable Deshaun in that one, Deshaun Kaiser. What was kind of like the idea behind that? Was it just that when evaluating Myles Garrett, you're like, this guy's so far and above the other positions that you guys felt like you can wait on quarterback? Or were you planning on maybe getting another veteran or just punting a year for the next draft class? Because the next draft class obviously had a ton of quarterback talent.
Right. No, I don't think it was that. I think we took who arguably was the best player in our draft at the first pick. We have more than one first round pick. So, we could have made a decision to do a lot of different things. We took Myles, ended up taking 2 other players late in the first round. After trading out, there's a lot of things we could have did. Everything is 2020 is hindsight. But there were some really good quarterbacks in that class that year that could have really helped the football team.
Coaching while Hard Knocks is going on, that must have been an interesting thing for yourself. How is it trying to conduct a training camp when you have a whole camera crew running around, producers, all this extra stuff going on in the background?
Not hard at all. I think people put way too much stock into how hard it is because they don't get in the way. They stay out of the way, to be very honest with you. And that was my 3rd time of being on Hard Knocks. So I knew what to expect. I thought they did a tremendous job. I didn't think they was an issue or they stopped us from being the best version of our football team that we could be at all.
There was a few kind of like scenes that always kind of like get keyed on when people talk about like your guys' season on Hard Knocks, in particular the coaching meeting with you, Todd Haley, having that exchange. When they were putting together that coaching staff for you guys, did you feel like some of those guys were maybe thrust upon you? Did you feel like you got a real opportunity to bring in your guys?
Doesn't matter whether they were thrust upon me or not, they were there. But I would think anybody who would look at that tape would catch themselves and say, wait a minute, this is a big time NFL team. They would not just practice guys and the coaches wouldn't know, or not practice guys, I should say, and the coaches wouldn't know. And that discussion was had a long time ago prior to ever starting the season. So obviously here's 2 new coaches who hadn't been in our organization. Maybe they forgot, maybe they didn't take good notes. I don't know what that was, but for them to voice what they were voicing made no sense to me.
Okay. With another notable scene, of course, is going to be the exchange, like when you brought Baker Mayfield and Drew Stanton into your office and announced that Baker officially got the backup job. And that actually kind of makes me kind of curious about overall the NFL philosophy. I understand making the rookies kind of earn their stripes. Obviously, we've seen with Justin Herbert, and it's kind of a unique kind of similarity. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor being the veteran quarterback in both these instances here. But I was going to mention Justin Herbert. Obviously, we see he's looking fantastic right now for the Los Angeles Chargers. Is there really a basis anymore at this point when you do draft a quarterback in the top 10, short of having Aaron Rodgers in front of him, to making the rookie wait?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The team has to be ready. I mean, Joe Thomas was the left tackle the All Pro, and we didn't know who the left tackle was going to be. So you're not going to trot your first round pick of the draft franchise quarterback out there and get him hurt, potentially. So you have to make sure that the team is ready. I think you're seeing that in Miami. I think you've seen that, obviously in San Diego, a little different. But I don't think it's right to just – every situation is different, and so you put quarterbacks out there when you feel like they're ready. We made a commitment to Tyrod Taylor as an organization. We did what we thought was right. And once he was injured, Baker was in there, and the rest is history.
And you'll forever be linked to, of course, Baker Mayfield. Obviously, there was that like late in the season moments with like Cincinnati, whenever you went to go coach with a friend in Marvin Lewis. Where Baker's at right now, the Cleveland Browns, obviously they are having a little bit more success this year. They're currently, if I'm not mistaken, 6-3 as it currently stands, which is a great turnaround. And Baker's the quarterback for them. But Baker's been taking some shots currently from the media as, is he the guy? Are the Cleveland Browns going to pick up his fifth-year option? Stuff like that chatter is going on in the background. How do you feel about Baker, and how do you evaluate this year's version of the Cleveland Browns?
I don't evaluate this year's version of the Cleveland Browns. I don't look at them like that. We made a decision to draft Baker first overall. I think he's very talented. There's not a throw he can't make. I think you have to play to his strengths in order to validate his value. And I think that's with any quarterback. I think that's with any player. I think some of the shots he's taken, like you said, I think they're unwarranted. But again, I'm not there to tell you the day-to-day to know exactly what's going on, but I think he's talented enough to be good enough to play in this league for a long time.